Missouri Republicans have drafted a bill that would allow parents to take their children out of the classroom if the science class is teaching about evolution. So that basically means that if the class is about biology, these students wouldn't have to take it if this legislation passes. Because of course, if you're going to talk about biology, you're going to talk about evolution. Yeah. But apparently this is kind of paving the way for creationist bullshit because Republicans don't like science. They don't like the theory of evolution. And they want to do, it's funny to me because whenever we talk about public education or whenever we talk about colleges and universities, Republicans always make the argument that these institutions indoctrinate our youth. It's always freaking projection because the reality is they want to use these institutions to indoctrinate youth, right? So you don't see liberals proposing legislation like this. Evolution isn't something that's made up. Evolution is approved theory.
Yeah.
So
it's demonstrable in laboratory conditions.
Yes. Yes.
It's been shown many times. It will continue to be shown. It doesn't matter how many studies there are. They won't accept it. But it's always frustrated me that people with these regressive Stone Age philosophies are allowed to benefit from the products of the science that they don't believe exists. So they get to use the technology, they get to benefit from the medicine, all these things that the scientific method have gotten us. We drag them into the present, away, outside of out of antiquity, and they get to benefit from it. And note that I'm not saying atheists do that. I understand that in the past there have been many religious people who have employed the scientific method. I think Gregor Mendel was a monk. There have been religious people who view science, that's perfectly fine, but they respect the scientific method. And I think that if you're going to willingly back out of that, if you're going to take your children and say, we don't want to learn that, then you shouldn't get to benefit from all the advancements that it brings to the world.
I would love...
it doesn't work that way, though.
I agree with you, but I would love the science enforcement, right? Or the science police. Yeah. It's like, oh, you don't believe in evolution? You don't believe in science? Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah. Oh, no light bulb for you.
Yeah, antibiotics, I don't think you believe in those.
Yeah, well, some of them don't.
Yeah, that would be, and it's funny too, there's science denying goes all across, like during the polar vortex, there couldn't be global warming. Yeah. You can believe in global warming in the middle of the polar vortex if I can believe in evolution while watching Duck Dynasty. That's all. Am I right about that?
And also, one thing that's always bothered me about trying to indoctrinate children to believe what's demonstrably untrue is that it seems to go against every instinct that parents are supposed to have. A parent is supposed to look at their child and say, whatever else happens, I want your life to be better than my life. Mm-hmm. And for them to say, I am so ignorant when it comes to the way that the world actually is, and I want you to be as stupid and as regressive as I am, and I want you to teach it to your children, and as far down you want to go in the descendants of my progeny, I want them to be just as dumb. And I want to consign you to ignorance and stupidity and all that it'll bring you, because it doesn't lack consequences. This affects the real world. It just bothers me.
It bothers me as well. And the reason why I really, really hate it is because it really shows you that, look, there are religious people in the country that are confident in their faith, and I respect those, especially those who want to practice their religion and not force it upon anyone else. But then there are people that are so insecure about their religion because they know, deep down inside, they know that they don't believe it themselves. So in the process of dealing with that insecurity, they force people to remain as ignorant as possible. They take the education out of our school system, and that's beyond problematic. We're supposed to educate our youth on what the reality is, what the facts are, not some made-up story of creationism.
Yeah.